So, Rick,
Hello.
what are we doing on this spooky Halloween episode?
What?
We watched two very scary movies. It was existential and it was a journey, but we're here now.
Oh, come on. You got to be more celebratory than that. Come on. Welcome to this 100th episode of I Hate Your Movie. What?
Right.
So what did we do for this 100th special episode?
Oh, if someone knows that we hate ourselves, they could guess.
So on this episode of I Hate My Movie,
This episode of I Hate Life and all humanity.
and all of those jokes will make sense once we've explained what we're doing. So what we did is, for the long-time listeners of the show, you know by now, but if you don't know, if for some reason you're listening to the 100th episode as the first one, we have like a top film that is the worst film ever made.
Yes.
It's just the absolute epitome of awful. Mine is the 2004 film starring Halle Berry, Catwoman, and Dan's is
2011 Adam Sandler trash fire called Jack and Jill.
So we thought we always recommend films to each other, and we're not quite sure how it's going to go across. So most of the time we dislike each other's films, hence the name of the podcast. But this time we picked the absolute worst for ourselves for some reason.
Because it's time to go fully hate. It's time to embrace the dark side. So what are we gonna talk about first?
What we're going to talk about first. So it's quite interesting, actually. It's quite interesting because you've, over the last 100 episodes, you have recommended me some truly terrible films. Some really like bargain basement, old DVD bin, $1 kind of trash.
Gems. Hidden gems.
And I was genuinely concerned that if we came back to Catwoman, that I wouldn't think it was that bad overall, but it was terrible. It was awful. And it's really interesting to see that both of us still hate these films the most.
Yeah. So it's toppled Suspiria because you've gone back and forth on Suspiria or Catwoman.
And I always will.
You will?
I think it depends what kind of mood I'm in.
Okay.
If I'm in a really kind of like, I hate art house type films, then I will hate Suspiria the most. But in general, Catwoman is because Catwoman's just insulting. So I figured we'd just have a little conversation, try and figure out whose film was worse.
Well, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Where does a film end and where does embezzlement start? That's my big question for you, for my movie.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen, and you really shouldn't, don't give him money and don't waste your time. Adam Sandler has slowly flushed himself down the toilet of quality even more over the years and created this atrocity called Jack and Jill.
Atrocity.
Atrocity?
Yeah.
He created this atrocity.
Well, I mean, it could be astrocity. It's
astrocity.
It's a new atrocity done by Adam Sandler, so it's an astrocity.
There you go. It's so bad it needs a new word. Which is a film quotation marks.
Yeah.
More like an advertisement disguised as a film.
Mm-hmm.
Loosely with quotation mark jokes.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
I'm glad. You know what? That was my worry, though.
Yeah.
That was my worry. I thought you're going to be little nicking this. I was like, oh, that's funny. Come on, man. That's funny. Come on. That's funny. That's my impression of you.
Yeah. It was spot on. I think the listeners would be hard to tell the difference.
That was me. That was me, by the way. It's not Michael Caine. It was Rick.
Just hit up all the classics.
Yeah. Ringing all the bells today. So I was worried you'd like this movie.
Yeah.
I'm happy you didn't. I think our friendship hangs in the balance at this point. I'd look at you like an alien if you like this movie.
It's interesting to me whether or not I would have liked this movie when I was like 14, when all the other Adam Sandler films came out that I kind of enjoyed at the time.
Yeah.
because we rewatched Little Nicky, and I recently in the last year I rewatched The Waterboy, and they're shit. But I really enjoyed them at the time.
And now?
I remember the ones I haven't seen recently fondly.
Okay.
So I still have Big Daddy in the back of my mind as quite a good film.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have Happy Gilmore just tucked away at the back there. Like, that was fun.
Like a repressed memory. His PTSD is going to come back up. I think, because I only watched Little Nicky and this. Did I watch anything else? Yeah, I think this is it.
You've seen Click, though, right?
Oh, I've seen Click, yes.
Yeah.
But again, repressed memories. So I might not remember. I think just based on that kind of pool, I think it is the worst, Jack and Jill. And I think it is specifically what you caught on to, which is my favorite thing that you caught on to ever.
Go on.
Because you're like, oh, what's going to be the funny thing? Oh, she's going to fart. Oh, she's going to fall over. And what happens instead?
Nothing.
Nothing
happens.
There's large stretches of this movie. There's not even attempts at joke.
Yeah, I think the funny bit is that she's like, and that's it.
Do you remember the bit when you caught on to her, when she like slowly comes down the stairs in like clothes or something, and like, oh, she's gonna fall over? Nope. She just slowly comes down the stairs.
No, yeah, the funny part I think was supposed to be that you were giving a long look at Adam Sandler in drag.
I see.
I think that was meant to be funny.
Okay. Yeah. But I think previous Adam Sandler movies, I think that even if it's fart jokes or people falling over, there's attempts to fill the movie with jokes like a comedy should, you know.
The thing about Jack and Jill for me is it feels like an Adam Sandler film with the main plot taken out.
Yeah.
Like, Little Nicky has all of these things. It has, like, offensive, jokes. It has a love interest. It has...
Product placement.
It has all of these things that this film has.
Yeah.
But the plot is that the devil's son is raising from hell to try and save his brothers, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
blah.
there's a story.
Yeah. Same with, like, Happy Gilmore. He's a hockey man who does golf. There's a plot.
Yeah.
This doesn't have a plot.
Yeah, what's the story?
There is no story in this film.
Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts.
There's I mean, you have like a side thing where Adam Sandler's trying to get Al Pacino in his film.
I think that's the main story.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
But there's nothing else.
I don't know.
There's nothing else. So that's usually like a B-C plot of a movie.
Yeah. It's an entire film of B-plots.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
They don't give it a weight of a story. They don't like... Adam Sandler is not like, I have to get Al Pacino, otherwise I can't take the kids for the summer vacation,
Well, there is. Like, if they don't get Al Pacino to Dunkin' Donuts, his entire company collapses with everyone involved.
It didn't feel like that.
Nope.
Maybe they said it, I completely missed that. It didn't feel like that was any urgency in that.
No.
Al Pacino at the end of the movie, he changed his mind just completely randomly, whether he wants to be in this commercial or not. It's not like something they worked for.
No.
It just happens.
He just turns up at the end.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Time to fulfill my contractual obligations. That's been said a lot of times during this movie, I think, the making of it.
Speaking of contractual obligations, Catwoman.
Are we just going to bob and weave?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
I want to introduce a little bit. So, yeah, Catwoman 2004. The best thing about this film is what comes up on Amazon when you just start to play the film. And it's got a little blurb about Halle Berry.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the description. And she got a Razzie for this film in the same year she won an Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what she won an Oscar for?
No. But we remember Catwoman.
Yeah, everyone remembers Catwoman, but no one remembers the film that she was in to get an Oscar. She was the first actress to turn up in person for her Razzie Award, and she held her Razzie aloft proudly with her Oscar and thanked Warner Brothers for, quote, making her do this piece of shit film.
She's a good sport.
Yeah.
But also, I think she just went for it. I don't think there's anything wrong with her performance.
No.
I mean, it's embarrassing, but I think that's what was in the script. And
Yeah.
she just did it.
Yeah, it's what's in the script. It was what's like the costume department made. It's everything. And the reason I hate this film, right? Because the reason I absolutely hate this film is just insulting to everyone involved.
Even misogynists.
Yeah. it's just insulting to the audience.
Yeah.
That's why I think this is the worst film ever made. This is genuinely like some studio executive sitting in Warner Brothers going, we'll just release any old piece of shit. As long as it's got a hot woman and it's slightly feminist at the same time, they'll just fucking eat it up. Ugh. And it's crap. It just really makes me angry.
And it's not even slightly feminist. It's just disguised as feminist.
Yeah. Try and put some music in it that sounds vaguely like Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
And then hope for the best.
Yeah.
And it's like I say, it's just it's just hoping the audience doesn't notice how insulting this is. It's like the film equivalent of painting a tunnel on the side of a mountain and then like expecting people to drive through it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, do you know what the Bechdel test is?
No.
It's like a feminist movie theory about...
Oh, is it the two women talk to each other for more than 30 seconds and they can't talk about a man?
Yeah. This movie fails it so hard. So hard. Honestly, I'm not sure I agree with the Bechdel test.
No.
Because what if you have a romantic movie?
I think the idea being that the character still needs to have some kind of depth.
Oh yeah,
And
personality.
that if they go see a friend, then they can talk about her work
Yeah.
for at least 30 seconds.
But I don't want to discount, because we always discount those people who are into the really trashy romantic films. You know? I think what our equivalent is like trashy action films.
Okay.
So if you like a trashy romantic film that's really dumb, I don't want to discount that. That in itself feels weirdly anti-feminist.
Okay.
Just let people enjoy what they enjoy. But in regular movies, I completely agree. It is a good test. And yet, I don't think there's a single moment in this big feminist, hips don't lie, Shakira movie.
That should be the tagline.
That is the tagline. I don't think there's a single moment when there isn't two women talking about hot guys. Completely pointlessly as well.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do with the plot.
Plot? There's a plot?
Well,
Vaguely. It's more of a plot in this than there is in Jack and Jill.
yes. That's not hard to do, though.
There's more of a plot in the farts, in the fart jokes than there is in Jack and Jill.
I want to see Catwoman with farts. I want to see her like, do her like splits and you.
Cool. So, Jack and Jill. What's your argument?
I mean, you've seen the movie.
Yeah.
I think it speaks for itself. Yeah, as you said, there's no plot. It's insulting to like not even on a forget art, forget that. There's not even in discussion. But it's just insulting in like a consumer type of way as well, which is like you pay for this movie. I didn't. Just letting you know. I'm not doing that.
Dan admits to crimes
I
on a public podcast.
I'm not giving into Adam Sandler's embezzling scheme so he can pay 10p to his football buddies. Yeah, so it's like this thinly veiled commercial. There's barely any effort in it. Almost no effort in it.
Yeah.
They bothered to turn on the cameras. It's so miserable. And we had this kind of discussion at the end of it, which is Catwoman has effort in it.
Yep.
Well, I'd say it does.
Okay.
It's misplaced effort and it's terrible ideas, but it has loads of effort. I'll argue that.
Okay.
But this has no effort, and it's like just a complete waste of time. And it's insulting in the consumer kind of way. Mm-hmm. It's very insulting in the art kind of way.
Yeah.
It's very insulting to people in Latin America.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started. Disabled people, elderly people. Let me see. Let me see. Drag.
Yeah.
And that just also goes into the what is the joke? Because I don't get it. Because sometimes the joke is, oh, they're twins, and that's the joke. And sometimes the joke is she a man? Which doesn't make sense because they're twins. And everyone is like, she lifts the heavy things, and people look under her skirt, oh, yeah, he's not a guy. And it happens multiple times in the movie. But this isn't a guy in a drag movie.
Yeah, it's not Mrs. Doubtfire.
It's not Mrs. Doubtfire.
You know, like, if Mrs. Doubtfire sits down and lifts a bunch of weights,
yeah.
It's like, oh my God, he's giving the game away because he's supposed to be the old lady.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But what's the joke?
Yeah.
What's the joke here?
I think the joke is, haha, strong woman. How dare you? Just
Yeah, so insulting to women as well. Let's add to that. Let's add it to our list. So yeah, you can barely call it a movie. So for it, deserves it to be a worst movie ever.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll admit. So we went into this film, and again, if you've not listened before, like Dan talks about this film quite a lot. It's and rightly so. As whenever the discussion of like bad films comes up, this is the one. And you always talk about like, oh, it's just adverts. And I was like, okay, yeah, if you say so, yeah. Most Adam Sandler films have product placement in them, so, you know, that's whatever. I just didn't expect the level of this. The level of product placement in this. Because you always say, like, oh, it just stops in the middle for a cruise commercial. And I was like, I think you might be... You're not exaggerating.
No.
You're not exaggerating at all. Like, it genuinely stops for a cruise commercial, and then it just happens to be that now they're on a cruise.
Everything, like the way they shoot the film changes when they go on that cruise, because all of a sudden they're not using this crappy whatever camera they were using. They're using this beautiful camera, and they're doing beauty shots.
Yeah.
Constantly.
There is genuinely a drone shot around the cruise that shows the pools, it shows the helipad, it shows the rooms for some reason.
Shows the different activities you can do on the Royal Caribbean cruise.
Exactly that. And they talk about it as well. They're like, oh, I might go to the pool. No, I can't. Or the bar is playing this live music. It's nothing to do with anything.
No.
Genuinely, I don't know what was worse, right? I don't know which one was worse, because there's that. And it's like, okay, you might just get away with like an establishing shot, because it's the only establishing shot you've got in the entire film, by the way. They're just like, oh, now they're here, now they're there.
Yeah, scenes just randomly start weirdly, and you're like, every time you're like, what happened? What's happening now?
Yeah. Or when they're in the cinema. I think that's the worst one, because that is genuinely looks like a Coke commercial with Adam Sandler in it. They're all literally sitting there in their little cup holders. Is a perfectly placed Coca-Cola logo aiming at the camera, and then the popcorn bags they're holding have a Coca-Cola logo on them as well, perfectly facing the camera. And like, why does your popcorn bag have?
There's like 6 of them. 6
there is.
logos.
There's like.
And it's so symmetrical. It's almost art. It's like product art.
It was like if Wes Anderson did a Coca-Cola commercial with Adam Sandler in it. That's what it would look like.
I thought you were going to say the second worst would be Dunkachino.
Dunkachino?
Don't mind if I do.
What's my name?
Dunkachino.
It's a whole new game.
Dunkachino.
You want creamy goodness? I'm your friend. Say hello to my chocolate blend.
No, I don't think so.
I think just because where it is in the movie, it's the worst. Because movie just ends with it, and that's a terrible idea. Because your movie's just filled with commercials, and then you end on a commercial.
I think that's not the worst, because it has vaguely something to do with the plot, you know?
Sure.
The cruise they go on is a commercial, because there's no reason for them to be on a cruise at New Year's.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. But yeah, the Dunkachino, at least that's, air quotes, the plot of the film, you know, and it has a build up and a resolution. So, you know,
vaguely
in the vaguest of sense, that at least again vaguely makes sense.
Yeah. So the movie starts with like twins interviews.
Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, how did they find the most annoying twins in the entire world?
I'm pretty sure they looked for actors.
Okay.
Because they felt like LA actors. I'm like, I'm gonna be a star. I'm gonna own this scene. And they went out from their like, you know, shared accommodation where 6-7 other people trying to be actors live.
They came out of Starbucks with their laptops with a screenplay they've written about a struggling actor in Hollywood.
They want a twin. They're offering $100 for a day. They had that aura of they like playing it up for the camera.
Yeah,
It didn't feel genuine at all.
No.
None of them.
No.
So that's how, I think. That's
okay,
how.
yeah, makes sense. One of them was like, I'm a doctor. I'm a Harvard-trained doctor. And the other one was, I work in Hooters. Like, maybe the Hooters wants to be an actress, and that's why she's... Okay, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. But I just wanted to get through to that because the first words in the real movie, so because this is just kind of like a cold open, I think. It's not really part of the movie, I think.
Okay.
The first words in the movie is Pepto-Bismol. Pepto-Bismol commercial.
Take one.
Take one. Yeah, just let us know ahead of time what journey we're on. And similar to the Coke situation, Adam Sandler and his co-worker talk over, and in the middle of their talking, there's a little desk.
There's a perfect tray.
Perfect tray, perfect Pepto-Bismol logos, perfectly centered towards the camera, and it's in focus more than Adam Sandler.
And even like at one point he's like, "Oh, I'm so stressed. I need something. Oh, Pepto-Bismol. Oh, gluck, 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 gluck. Feel better now."
Yeah. Let's talk about budget, because I did a little investigation work, right? Because I heard from other people that this Jack and Jill, and you just have to see what it looks like to really get this idea of why this is wrong. It has half of the budget of Titanic.
Wow.
Apparently. I haven't looked up to that fact specifically, because I wanted like real like inflation adjusted numbers, and I don't know if that was. So I did a little investigation of kind of today, if you got the budget of Jack and Jill, what can you do? Today, inflation adjusted. So Jack and Jill had a 70 million to 90 million budget.
Okay.
It's very high for a comedy still. What you can do with that in nowadays.
Okay, so what is that nowadays?
What is that nowadays? Barbie. Oppenheimer.
Really?
Yeah.
How much money is it worth nowadays, though? Like, what's your inflation?
It's adjusted, so it
Okay.
is the same.
Okay.
It is the same.
Didn't Oppenheimer on 90 mil?
Oppenheimer now is 100 mil, and in 2010 it would have been 70 mil.
Okay.
So yeah, it is inflation adjusted. Nope, which is a great film. Bullet Train.
Wow, really? That's got some stars in it as well.
Yep. Tar, Glass Onions, Knives Out Mystery.
Wow, again, big stars.
Yeah. And then I also looked up, this is less useful, but it still kind of shows you. So around Jack and Jill, with the same budget of Jack and Jill, around the same time, what kind of movies came out that have similar budgets? District 9.
Wow.
Elysium, The Wolverine,
Okay.
The A-Team.
Yeah.
Yay! Oblivion. Have you seen that one?
I haven't, no.
Yeah, it's a very it's Tom Cruise sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Still Tom Cruise and sci-fi. It's worth as much as Jack and Jill. So yeah, so where'd they all the money go? Adam Sandler. I'm asking you specifically, Adam Sandler. So you paid yourself twice because
Yep.
yeah, you paid yourself twice. You also wrote part of the screenplay, which is I assume is a napkin that says funny drag haha parts. Even the few effects that they had to do were awful. And there were never clever things with the twins. 99% split screen.
Mm-hmm.
They were like standing next to each other, making sure that they don't
They cross the line.
cross
on
the
floor.
line
Yeah.
of the split screen. Or, yeah, A-B camera and then someone was a stand-in.
Yeah.
It's the easiest things you can do. The only time they did something was when they did the jump ropes. I think they did a little face swap. So where did all the money go?
Well, the thing is, at that time, Adam Sandler was the highest paid actor in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So he paid himself a lot of money. You know, he would have been paid 10 million for that film.
Sure. And where's the rest? Where's the rest,
Paid
motherfucker?
himself twice for 20 million. And
The
then,
screenplay 30 million.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he had to pay Johnny Depp.
Did we Johnny Depp? He had to pay Al Pacino, and I assume he paid Al Pacino a lot of money to
well,
do that.
I don't know. It's hard to tell because he was already kind of washed out by then.
He had to pay the money to break Katie Holmes out of Scientology jail.
Out of the basement of Scientology. That's hard money. Is it 70 million plus whatever these companies cashed out? Anyway, let's have a short list of what kind of product placements I found. And this is not an ultimate list because I'm sure I missed some. There was one where you're like pointing it out and I realized I was just drooling and like I was not paying attention. So I must have missed some, but I just want to quickly go through. Pepto-Bismol, Dunkin' Donuts, Coke, Sony. It's a Sony movie. Mm-hmm. American Airlines, that was also awful. When they meet at the airport, it's just American Airlines, American Airlines, American Airlines, American Airlines, just stretched to infinity. Skype.
Oh god, that line. Oh, that line. That's where it really broke me. That's the point in this film where I lost all hope. You know, because like I say, I watched Adam Sandler films and I enjoy them. Mm-hmm. And when Adam Sandler in drag, putting on a stupid voice, says, what Skype? It sounds anti-Semitic. I was out. My brain went... You know, have you ever seen that episode in The Simpsons where Homer's brain, it goes up, it's like, that's it, I'm out of here.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant when the monkey with the symbol starts
No.
playing. Makes sense. For me, it was the monkey with the symbol. Because my brain broke. At some point, I just started laughing for no reason. Because what else is there to do? The Price is Right.
Yep.
Hershey's, Match.com, eHarmony, Google, Subway.
Craigslist.
Yeah. Oreo, Dunkachino, Sony. I didn't even write down Craigslist.
Did you know?
No.
Oh, God.
So that's a little short list. And it's not subtle.
No.
As we said, like the Pepto Bismol. There should be two people talking. You should be paying attention to that. But the way the camera is focused, it's like this bright pink thing on the table that's in focus. And it's like completely direct your eyes towards that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And they never say anything naturally.
Yeah.
It's like when they're talking about Craigslist. They're not like, oh, I might do it on Craigslist. They're like, oh, I might go on Craigslist and then do an advert, and that will be the way.
Why don't you go on Craigslist.com where you can post an advert for free? It might as well be like that.
Yeah, it pretty much is.
I know why you roll your eyes when I say, before this movie, this is like a watershed movie. I know why you used to roll your eyes when I said there's a lot of product placement. Because I'm like very artsy-fartsy and whatever, and keep it pure. But I do understand making movies a business. It's keeping it a balance, you know?
Yeah.
We make fun of Pepsi a lot. Because it just comes up a lot for some reason. Because they're very desperate. But I don't mind about those like Pepsi. There's a little Pepsi in the movie or whatever. I don't care. I don't care. Marty McFly has to drink Pepsi. I don't give a shit. But this is like...
Yeah, this is horrendous. I think my favourite product placement thing, and that I read once, I've done no research into it whatsoever, but apparently, do you know about the Seinfeld watch?
No.
So Rolex gave money to Seinfeld, so he wears this Rolex watch, but it's in the contract that for every re-release of the series, his watch needs to be updated. So they CGI a new Rolex, like a new brand, like a new kind of Rolex on him for every single re-release. If you watch the different releases, he's always wearing a different watch.
My favorite product placement. That's the mini product placement bonus episode. My favorite product placement is in the original Batman in '89.
Okay.
Batman had to wear Nike shoes. They're completely black and in the darkness, and Nike still paid them.
My favorite product placement is right now. Delicious Pepsi. I'm drinking it right now.
Come on, Rick. Don't be joking around like you joke around in our bonus episodes on patreon.com/IHateYourMovie. Why is this an Adam Sandler film? I don't know if I kept in the episode, but you told me off about calling everyone racist all the time.
No, I told you off about bringing up race all the time.
Why don't you do it this time then?
God.
So I'll do it. I'll bear the burden of being the race obsessed one. Oh God.
I think you have to come at it from a kind of like, this is really bad kind of perspective.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to portray it.
Like, things with Adam Sandler films, and they're not that old. Like, most of them aren't that old. When did you say this film came out?
2011.
2011 this film came out. And it's just insane to me that he got away with doing the stuff he does.
Yeah.
And did. Like, if you were to release that film even 5 years later, you would have a massive uproar, and absolutely it would be trashed and it would be boycotted. Hopefully.
I don't know if it would though. Just because, like, I think he created himself a very low threshold, like a very low bar, and people just don't care because people know that's shit. What he does is shit, so it doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah.
Because there were racist stuff in his Netflix things, and there were little flare-ups of controversy, but nothing stuck. So I don't know. I want to note that this is a visual racist quote-unquote joke. So when Jack picks up Jill at the airport, no one else in the whole fucking airport for some reason, but there's a lazy Mexican guy just sitting down and sleeping on the job where he's supposed to be a janitor.
It really is that.
Yeah. Oh.
I thought you were going to talk about the entire food scene,
Well,
barbecue scene, or whatever it is, when they're outside
Yeah.
and Jill meets the
I want to
family.
talk about that whole character. They live in quite lavish household,
Yeah.
and they have like a Mexican groundskeeper
Mm-hmm.
who makes quote unquote jokes that are not jokes. They're just awfulness.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's like he wrote this character to make jokes, so the character makes fun of himself,
Yeah.
which doesn't work because you wrote it, dude.
He wrote it. Yeah, he wrote it. It's through his writing. He
Yeah.
speaks.
So,
Hey, I wrote that this really hot chick says I'm hot. That means
Yeah.
that she loves me. It's kind of like that logic, right? So yeah, there's all sorts. There's, oh, my cousin, they're coming over the border. I'm kidding.
yeah.
Then silence.
And try and like imagine that voice 100% more racist.
Yeah.
Like,
That guy just speaks
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the complete like regular American.
so Adam, how would you like me to play this scene?
I am a trained actor. I am classically trained Shakespeare. What would you like me to do? Can you talk like was that mouse that was in
That's
Looney
exactly
Tunes?
what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. Arriba, arriba, andale, andale.
Yeah, that guy. Can you talk like that guy, please? And then it's perfect. And he's like, yes, I understand. This is a commentary on racism in America.
I think the worst bit about that whole scene
Yeah.
is, I mean, I guess it's supposed to be funny that the old lady keeps getting hit with stuff. She gets hit by a chair. She gets hit by a bat.
Yeah, and she has goofy big eyes.
Yep.
And then that's funny because she's old and she gets hit on the face.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
It is.
And then the worst bit is to try and like rouse her, instead of smelling salts, they give her jalapenos to
Yeah.
eat. And I just, come on, man. Like, step it up.
Yeah.
Be better.
Just be better.
Just be better.
That's gonna be possibly one of the episode titles of this episode. Just be better.
It's just, come on.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about, right? Let's take it with the amount of money or the amount of influence you have to have in Hollywood to get Al Pacino to say the following line. I can smell horny across an ocean. Al Pacino, man. Scarface himself.
He was already washed out by then.
That much?
Yeah. Yeah. He had more of a revival recently with the Irishman. Well, that wasn't even recent, but after Jack and Jill, he had a bit of a revival.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. I'm surprised Johnny Depp is in this film. Was he like?
He's barely in this film.
I know.
He's sat. Hey, Johnny Depp, come and sit on this chair.
Yeah. No, you know what it was like? It was like, okay, Johnny, here's this in. Can I sit down? Can I be in my trailer? Can you CGI me in?
That whole scene, by the way, it's just terrible. Everything about it's terrible. Especially, and we both kind of were shocked at this. I'm not sure we even laughed at it. Because it was that bad. It's when it turns to face Adam Sandler, and behind him is supposed to be the Lakers court with the basketball players, and it's the most obvious green screen you've ever seen in your life, right? So my college that I went to had a green screen,
Yeah.
right, and we did better green screening than that was in this £90 million Adam Sandler film.
Yeah. Also, so yeah, they go on this like giant basketball game, and then they have like a couple pickup shots of a real basketball game, and then they cut to this like sound studio with like 3 rows of chairs.
Yeah.
So even that side looked cheap. So I don't know why they just couldn't shoot that there. Like just keep the same cheapness. But no, they went one below with the green screen.
Oh, it's just awful. It's just terrible.
I assume those were like story kind of pickup shots or something. Like, you know, he did it in his basement with the green screen.
I guess so.
But like, would anyone even notice if those not in the movie? If like, because I assume if they spend the time to do that, that was important for the story, quote unquote. I'm gonna stop saying quote unquote, but just imagine it's everywhere. Just imagine it's everywhere. This conversation, okay? I'm just bored of myself saying that, but it's baked in. It's everywhere. Everything is in question. So yeah, if it was important for the story, would anyone even notice that? because the story is so atom thin, then that I don't think people would have cared either way, honestly, if that's not in.
And then at the end, Jill ends up with the gardener for
Yeah.
some reason, and Al Pacino gets over it.
Yeah,
and
but
Adam Sandler,
for no reason.
yeah, for no reason, Adam Sandler gets the job sorted. So his company is saved, but it's not mentioned.
Yeah.
I will say something about the end of this film, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the end of this film ends, like you said, in a Dunkin' Donuts commercial with Al Pacino.
Dunkachino.
Al Pacino raps, which is just made me want to vomit everywhere. But I tell you now, Al Pacino is a pretty good dancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's surprisingly spry for a 107-year-old.
Do you want to talk about, just as a last thing,
Go on.
do you want to talk about the only real joke in this film?
Well, Adam Sandler.
No, the toilet guy joke.
Do you know what? I had a message about the toilet guy, and I was looking for somewhere to drop it in, but I thought
Okay.
we'd passed the moment.
No. There's always a moment for toilet guy.
Well, that was my thing, right? So let's explain the joke, and then I'm going to talk about for about 10 minutes. About the joke in the film. Again, imagine the quotes. The joke in the film is that Adam Sandler dresses up as his sister at some point, so he gets in the Jill costume, puts melons in his bra. The toilet guy who's standing there, adjusts the melons so they look symmetrical.
Yeah.
And then later, Jill is in the film, who's actually a woman, and he walks up to her and he tries to adjust her boobs, but they're actually her boobs, so she punches him through a door.
Mm-hmm. As bad as it is,
Mm-hmm.
it is the only constructed joke in this film.
Yes. Yeah, it's
The only one. The only one where it's not someone falling down, getting hurt, or being racist to that, or whatever. It's the only joke in this film. And it's terrible, but it stands out because it's the only joke with a setup and a payoff in this film.
Yeah, every other joke in it is completely inconsequential to anything.
Well, this is inconsequential as well, but at least it's a joke.
Yeah, but there was no, all the other ones, there was no start point. There was no like, oh, do you remember that thing, earlier in the film? Now it's come back, we're making fun of it. Apart from Wheel of Fortune, where they just play the same clip. They play the same clip
I
again.
refuse to say that's like a setup payoff.
It's not at all. It's just...
They have this montage of Adam Sandler is signing up Jill for a dating site, and then he thinks of all the is she hot? Oh, she sweats in the bed, whatever. And then they just run out of things.
Yeah, she's a knockout. So
She's a knockout. So he remembers the earlier scene that happened like 20 minutes ago.
Not even that. But going back to the point that I would like to make, right? So
Toilet guy.
toilet guy, fucking hate toilet guys. Toilet guys are the worst people in the entire world. What are they there for? I tell you now, right? There's a toilet guy. I can't pee. I can't do it. I'm just going to stand there looking at the freaking trough or whatever it is, looking at the urinal. Now I know that guy's looking at me. He's drilling eyes in the back of my head, and I can't go.
Are they really inside?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Okay, I've never been to such a fancy place. Like
Well,
a Royal Caribbean cruise line.
So they used to be like quite big in clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they used to, every time you went to like a nightclub, any nightclub. So we went to our local one, and there was always a guy in there. And yeah, he had all his little like sprays, and he had like his mints and Chupa Chups for some reason. Like, that's where I want to buy my Chupa Chups, from the guy in the toilet. Maybe it was like a code or something. Maybe you went up to him like, "Hi man, can I get the like sherbet Chupa Chups?" And he gave you one with Coke in it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And they always used to have the same expressions, because I don't know if it was the same guys doing all, like just the one guy who was in all the clubs simultaneously in some kind of omnipresence. But they always have to have the same expressions, and you probably have to cut this out. Because they try and get you with the spray. They spray you, and then you give them like a couple of quid. But he was like, yeah man, no splash, no gash.
Okay.
No splash, no gash. No Armani, no Punani.
Is gash really that bad of a word?
I don't know. I just think I don't like saying it.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't like the idea of me saying that is in the public forum.
Okay. What about the
You can keep it in as long as you keep that bit in of being
Okay.
ashamed of it.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
But yeah, if there's a toilet guy, I'm in the cubicle, because I don't like him
You
looking at
just
me.
piss yourself.
Yeah, that's
Defiance.
I will go outside and I will go into the alley.
Yeah.
And that's my rant on toilet guys.
I thought it was going to have something to do with the movie.
No.
Okay. Well, that's very on brand for us to talk about something completely random. So, yeah, I suppose that's Jack and Jill. What a fucking mess. Yay!
So that's your argument, our argument, for Jack and Jill being the worst film ever made. Unfortunately, it's wrong, because Catwoman is the worst film ever made.
Nah, mate.
Nah, mate.
Yeah,
Nah,
wrong, mate. I gave it a 0 out of 10, by the way.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I'll do that. I think it's because I can barely call it a film, only on a technicality. That's the reason why it gets a 0 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm probably with you
Yeah.
on that one, yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I can't even...
Does it make your super special list?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess it does.
Hmm.
It's third. I need to add that to my list, because I didn't write that down. I haven't written a few of them down.
So it'd be Catwoman, Suspiria, Jack and Jill.
Yep. No, sorry. No, it's fourth. I'm not putting it above Human Tornado.
You know?
Human Tornado is worse than Jack and Jill.
Nah,
Yeah. At least they had nice cameras.
not really. Only when the Royal Caribbean cruise Edward started.
On the list I've written down, Suspiria's at the top, but we've discussed that. So yeah, it's Catwoman, Suspiria, Human Tornado, Jack and Jill, Chopping Mall. So, to number 1 on the list. Oh, God. Catwoman.
Catwoman.
What on earth was anybody thinking? Let's do a one-sentence review at the start of this.
Yeah, okay. Mine is congratulations.
Yeah?
This is the first movie you recommended that physically made me sick. Which we'll get into.
Okay. So, my one-sentence review is simple. You know, it's basic. It's been said before, but is this. This is the worst film ever made. End.
It's pretty bad.
It's awful.
Yeah.
And we've spoken a little bit about it already, but there's so much wrong with this film. Everything is wrong with this film. Everything.
Yeah.
Apart from Halle Berry's performance.
I think there's a couple of nice shots. I
Yeah.
was looking for positives.
Okay.
When the camera's not moving, because then I'm throwing up. Because it moves so fast that then there's editing and there's jarring, and if you feel like you're on a terrible old roller coaster, when the camera finally stops, there's a couple of nice shots that were like, okay, like her silhouetted against the moon. It's like, okay, that's something.
For me, I didn't like that because it's so CGI.
Well, yeah,
It's so CGI, it's distracting. And it's a CGI of...
that one was far away enough. That one, the her against the moon, I think.
There's a couple of her against the moon.
Yeah.
There's one that's like the moon takes up most of the screen, and there's one where it's like smaller.
I think where
She's
it
in
was
the background.
mostly taking up this scene. I think that was the one I liked.
So this is early 2000s CGI. So it's not very good. And we'll talk about that a bit more as we go on. I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
But for me, have you ever played the old Arkham games, like Arkham Asylum, Arkham
Yeah.
City? It just felt like I was playing that because it's a CGI Arkham City.
That has better CGI.
It genuinely does have better CGI. I had to look down, make sure I wasn't holding my controller, that I couldn't switch to Batman.
Yeah, I just don't get it. 2004, they still look bad, I think. But I just, in general, this and the Daredevil film with Ben Affleck, why are they so confident at showing flips and somersaults in CGI?
I think it's the Matrix's fault.
Yeah.
Because The Matrix came out in 99 and everyone went mad for CGI and bullet time. And I don't know when the sequels for The Matrix came out, but they are pretty heavy CGI as well.
So they went, let's learn nothing from what the Wachowskis achieved with this incredible mix of technology. Let's just fuck it. Maybe they learned from the Matrix Revolutions or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
The second one, which has the terrible CGI.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's
Oh,
what I'm
okay.
saying. Yeah, I don't know when they came out, but it might have been around the same time. If you look back at that scene in The Matrix where Agent Smith, there's like 100 Agent Smiths. Ooh.
And they switches because it starts with like body doubles, and then it starts CGI, and then everything is CGI, and it just looks like a PS1 cutscene.
Yeah,
It looks last generation even for the time, and this looked like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it just, I think you said it best, like when we were watching. Did the people who made this think this is just the height of CGI?
Yeah.
This can't go any better than this, so we'll just put it everywhere.
Yeah, because they're so confident with it.
Yeah.
There's such long shots, especially when he like goes into buildings and stuff, and he's like, zooms in on pretty much Earth and then city, and then whoa, just zooms in so hard, and then it just looks so bad the whole time. Did no one think of like maybe just cut that whole bit out when it zooms out from space or whatever to the building, and then maybe just use that budget to really make the building look nice, or make it like a miniature? Or a megature or whatever they used, Lord of the Rings, big miniatures.
Okay.
Bigatures, I think it was called.
Okay.
Yeah, just use the budget to do that instead of this show-offy thing that stretch your graphic artist so hard that all of it looks shit.
You don't like that. The worst bit for me, the worst bit for me by a long way, is when she is jumping around like inside buildings. It's the internal, when she jumps up in the air and the camera moves and it becomes CGI and she jumps from like the banister to the wall to
and the movement is suddenly very different.
Yeah, it's just terrible. It's just jarring and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some plot, because let's not get bogged down in the terrible CGI of this film. Let's talk some terrible plot of this film. I'm excited. Are you excited? No, because it's shit.
Yeah.
What do you want from your like feminist film? What do you want from it? You want a badass woman who is independent and strong.
I want her to step on the guy's balls and stuff.
Whatever you're into.
I want that from any movie.
Just, I never want to see your browser history. But no, none of that. She starts off, she's quiet, she's weak.
Well, yeah, you want the contrast.
Yeah, to a point.
I think that's fair that they gave her contrast of personalities. That's what the Michelle Pfeiffer one did as well. She was like secretary and she's nerdy and weird. And then she dies and she gains all this confidence. But in that one, the difference is, I think, and I think where this movie fails a lot, is in the Michelle Pfeiffer one, it feels like what was inside her just comes out and blooms. In this one, she feels like a completely different person.
Yes,
100% of the time. That's the real problem, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, I might have been explaining it wrong, but that's pretty much what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Within the first 5 minutes of this film, I think, because it went on forever, she gets saved by a man. Like immediately, she climbs out onto a ledge to save a cat for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And then the policeman shows up and he runs up the building, and as the aircon falls off that she's standing on, he grabs her and saves her life. Come on, man. Like, who's writing this?
Some 60-year-old man who thinks, what's feminists? What do they like? Do they like ponies? Oh, they like Shakira. Oh, great. I'll put that in.
So you get nothing from her in any way, shape or form that she's got any kind of like backbone, or she wants to do these things but doesn't. So she's got this boss that who's the Merovingian from The Matrix.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the guy who was like her boss. The only two things he's ever been in, they're both CGI headaches.
He sounds like, in this film, someone's Bond villain impression.
That's a great description.
Your mate's Bond villain impression.
That is a fantastic description.
You do not, in fact, even know where they are, and you do not know where they are because, and I quote you, you cannot remember.
That's what he sounds like.
Yeah, 100%.
He doesn't sound like a real person.
What's annoying about it is he's not even the main villain in the end. Like, that's just, it's so badly written, because the wife who is the main villain in the end.
It makes no sense at the end. Why is she a main villain?
No, she just comes out of nowhere. It's like someone wrote this script and they were like, oh no, God, we can't have the man fight the woman at the end. What can we do? Let's pull this side character out from the bag.
We don't have a cat fight. We don't have a famous feminist cat fight in this movie.
Genuinely, at some point, there was two executives or writers in a room that have said that exact sentence. So how does this go? Yeah, have they read a single Catwoman?
No.
Have they watched a single Catwoman film with Catwoman in it? No. They just make complete shit up.
They read the Wikipedia for cats.
The musical.
The musical.
Yeah, so she's an artist. For some reason, she designs what? the graphics for the
Yeah.
advertising
Yeah,
campaign.
graphic designer, yeah.
And her boss yells at her and she needs to get the plans to him by midnight.
Yeah.
But the plans are not in the office that they were just in.
It's in the super secret laboratory.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah, she knows about the super secret laboratory then she has to deliver these plans to the super secret laboratory. And in that super secret laboratory, there is 2 people in there conveniently discussing their evil plan. Which she overhears because none of that's behind any kind of security. No, the fucking back door's open. And she just wanders in.
And at no point the boss said that she has to hand deliver this.
No.
So emails existed in 2004, isn't it? And I'm sure this is like a digital graphic.
Yeah, save it on the network.
Yeah,
And
save it
then
on the network.
Email, this is it.
Also, you know, we all worked at shitty places before. You can safely assume that you can just bring it in tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because your boss forgot about that, whatever he said. We all know that's the thing.
And then obviously she overhears this super secret plan. I haven't even mentioned it yet. And it's genuinely the worst part of the film. The whole MacGuffin of this film is the fact that the skin cream is hurting people.
Yeah.
The skin cream.
Hashtag feminism.
How dare you? Writing team, directing team, how dare you make your... I can't do it.
They basically just stole Death Becomes Her.
It's just face cream, man. Like, come on.
Yeah.
The person who wrote that, like, you're writing a...
What do girls like?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just so insulting. Mm-hmm. It's so insulting.
Not just to women, but all humanity.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying about the film just being insulting to the audience in general.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the women in the audience. And every woman in the world should be offended by this film in some way. But to everyone.
Yeah.
Just to anyone who might want to watch a film.
It's just your intelligence as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, she hears this super secret plan, and what does she do next? She runs into a giant pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what you do when you're running away. You run into the industrial area and jump in the nearest pipe you find.
She's like Mario. It's a me, Catwoman.
And then, obviously, someone pulls a big lever and flushes the pipes.
They flushed her down the toilet.
They do, as this film should be, and she dies. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the only physical set they've built is this giant rock.
Oh, the bog as well.
Yeah.
Kind of boggy.
There's like seaweed, and she's lying there. And at no point is this in any actual Catwoman lore. A cat breathes on her.
Buffs on her.
And she comes back to life.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you, actually.
Yeah.
Because I haven't done any research into Catwoman.
Oh, boy.
Just like the writers of this film didn't do any research into Catwoman. Does Catwoman have any actual powers, or is she just like Batman?
I mean, because comics, you know, there's been like 1,000 iterations.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't speak for every iteration, because I'm sure, at least in the 60s Batman comics, where Batman became Zebra Batman, Catwoman might have had powers. Okay? But most traditionally, no, she's just a cat burglar.
Criminal with a heart of gold.
Kind of anti-hero-ish as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so no, not really.
No. So what do you do in your big budget film? You give her loads of cat powers. But here's the thing about it. Do you research what cats can do? What cats actually physically can do? No, of course you fucking don't. Because you're a moron. I'm getting so angry at this film. Oh my God. Yeah, so the first thing she does, she wakes up. She's got cat eyes now, but they come and go for some reason.
They're there at the beginning and never again.
Exactly. Because, why not? And first thing she looks up in the sky and there's a bunch of seagulls. And her vision, out of nowhere, zooms in on seagulls. And she can see it as if it's right close to her face. And she puts her arms out to kind of swat it away, even though it's miles away. Cats can't do that.
Yeah.
Cats have worse vision than we do.
Yes.
They literally have to be closer to things than us to be able to see them properly. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about doing any research into it whatsoever. You have cat powers now, so you can see good.
They clearly went, let's give her cat powers instead of nothing, which is in the comics. So yeah, they should have mimicked a cat's powers instead of doing some things that they think a cat can do, but they just couldn't be bothered to look it up.
No.
And the mix of they just looked at that cat, Mr. Fuzzy Face, and what it does, and then they just tried to write it in the script. It's a weird mix. In some ways, they're like too accurate, like embarrassingly to a cat, which you shouldn't be in the script. It shouldn't be in the script that she eats tuna. You know, because that's too much. But then they go inaccurate as well, like the zooming stuff, and that's the clash, I think.
Yeah, there's a scene where she goes on a date with Mr. Hot Cop, and they have sushi, and she's just like, eating the salmon off the top of the sushi, and it's just, why? Like, how can you think that's an appropriate thing to write down? No, how did it get through like so many levels of writing? You know, rehearsals, set design, filming, directors, everyone, executives, producers, everyone. It went past everyone.
Best boys.
And everyone went, yeah, okay, cool. And I think one of the most insulting things, right, to me at least, is they couldn't even give her the same name as Catwoman.
Oh yeah, all the names are terrible in this. It's like a 5-year-old wrote it.
Her name is Patience Phillips. Why? Where have you got that from?
It's not even the worst name in this.
No, the worst one is Ophelia Powers.
Ophelia Powers, who knows about her powers, because she's Ophelia Powers.
You've completely taken away Catwoman as a Catwoman. And you've written this completely separate film. It even says at the start or the end, I can't remember which one it is. I think it's the end, because I was really questioning whether or not this is based on anything. Like, it was even to do with DC.
That tells you all, if you were questioning that. As I said, like, comics always changes as well. You know, there's not really a definitive version of any character. Catwoman maybe is a difference, but you know, you can always do changes and you can do different things. It's just shit. That's the problem. That's the real problem. If it was good, we wouldn't have this problem.
Yeah, true. And then they must have got halfway through this film and gone, oh shit, we haven't actually got any Catwoman stuff on it, so let's make her a thief. So let's make her a thief, not because she wants the money or, you know, the fame of being the most famous burglar.
Or she's struggling like in the comics.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, she's not struggling financially. She has just lost her job, but that's not really consequential in any way, shape or form. No one seems to mention that.
Yeah, no one cares.
No one cares about that. No, she likes shiny things.
Yeah.
That's it. Again, how insulting. Like, oh, she's a woman. She's going to see a necklace in a thing and she's going to think it's shiny and want it.
Yeah.
Bless her. Jesus. How?
Even if you take away the woman element, it's just like your character has no agency.
Yeah.
Because she weirdly feels like after she turns, she feels like an automaton that like pre-programmed to do certain things. Oh, she's pre-programmed to jump around. She's pre-programmed to fucking steal the jewel. And she's like, oh, I didn't actually want to do this. No, that's a shit character, especially a main character.
Yeah. And she doesn't even, again, it's kind of, they try and make it vaguely anti-hero, so she stops the burglars. But she stops the burglars, then steals the stuff anyway, because she wakes up with all the stuff. And then she goes back and drops the stuff she's stolen back at the crime scene.
Yeah.
For Hot Cop to find.
Can we stop calling him Hot Cop? He's regular looking cop. I'd refuse to call him Hot Cop. He's not hot in my book.
Okay. So she tracks him down. Oh my God. She tracks him down. So she phones up the police station. This is in the film. That she says that she phoned up the police station and the police station told her where he is, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that doesn't happen. I'm sorry. You can't just phone a police station and be like, hey, where's Mr. Hot Cop? Because what if criminals phone up? Hey, this person, you know, just put my brother in jail. Can you tell me where he is? Oh, he's just down the street over there. Yeah, have at it. Whatever. Anyway, so he's a policeman. He's got a full-time job. Apparently, he teaches in a school as well.
I mean, no one ever says he teaches at school. He might just be wandered in. That was my feeling.
He just has to be like Hot Cop that teaches in a school.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so ludicrous that, you know, it might as well be a school for, you know, disabled orphans who are addicted to crack.
Yeah, and survive the fire.
And recovering alcoholics.
Yeah.
Do you think the writers of this film know the rules of basketball?
I know the rules of basketball. Is it like sexily twerking against your opponent?
Absolutely. That's the way I play it.
Well, Shakira plays.
Don't forget to have some hip hop music in the background.
Is it throwing the basketball hand to hand like it's a ball of yarn, like a cat?
Again, how does it get to that point? How do you get all the way through the filming process, through editing, to release, and still have any of that in there? It's, oh God, I hate it so much.
Maybe there was a gas leak.
for the whole production.
Yeah, maybe it's Christopher Nolan made this film, but there was a gas leak.
Let's talk about costume design.
Oh my God, I've been waiting for this.
Please take it away. I don't even have words. I don't even have words.
It doesn't even look sexy anymore because it looks so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes, and in some ways it's very insulting. It shows so much skin and it's so sexualized that it's insulting. But you can't take it too seriously because he has a forehead from Coneheads. And just looks cheap and nasty. And I'm pretty sure, I kind of wanted to ask you that, whether the cuts on her trousers were real cuts or they just colored her skin color in, because that's what it looked like.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it might have been when it was CGI, so I don't know. Maybe I'll just get confused there. Also, awkwardly, the back of the mask covers up half of her ears. It's like a last-minute Halloween costume.
I think the worst bit about it is there's this build-up before about she's got this leather outfit in a cupboard. And her colleagues wants her to wear it, and she's like, "No, I'm never gonna wear that." And then when she turns into this Catwoman persona, she takes it out of her cupboard, and it's like a leather jacket. It's basically like Anne Hathaway's costume in The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, that one's not so bad.
But it looks like that when she takes it out of the box.
Yeah.
And then nothing happens, and then next scene, she's in this ridiculous outfit, and there's no correlation to what she took out of that cupboard and what she's now wearing.
Let's talk about my favorite character in this film, editing.
Oh.
You might say, oh, editing, that's not a character. It's there the whole time and you notice it.
Yeah.
And it's part of the film. I got proper nauseous during this film.
Yeah, so did I. And I never do. You always say that you get nauseous when editing's bad. And I'm like, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But this
was a whole new level.
It genuinely made me feel sick.
Yeah.
The amount of cuts for every single half second. There's a scene where she pushes someone through a doorway. She jumps up, hits them through a doorway, and is genuinely, in the time it takes for them to come through the door and hit the floor, there's 4 different cuts. And why? And it's just so disorientating and so...
It constantly breaks the 180 rule as well. Like sometimes you see her on the left side and sometimes you see her on the right side. And you're just like, where is anything? What's happening? I don't get it.
You know, you probably cut in now of our, like...
Of our vomiting session.
But yeah, at one point we were recording and I was trying to keep up with the amount of cuts. And I was like, cut, 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 cut. Cut. And I wasn't joking.
Yeah.
That's genuinely how many different cuts there were. And it's horrible. How do you...
And sometimes you're doing that when it was just a normal talking scene, not even an action scene.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It's just hot cop and Catwoman talking to each other.
Just romantic, whatever scene. And then cut. Why? And the problem is, this like, you're disoriented of where you are, where the characters are. You're disoriented with all the cuts and what's happening and how much time elapsed. And then they mix that with very swooping camera action, like dollying and stuff like that. And you're like, oh, this motion. It's like
being on a Disney roller coaster, but you're also wearing a VR headset that's playing something completely different
playing
to what is happening
Catwoman
in the real world. And to make it worse, you're not even showing anything worthy of it.
No.
You know, like the fight scenes aren't good. They're not well choreographed.
That could be a reason for the quick cuts as well, to disguise that.
Maybe, but it's not well acted. And then you've got massive parts of these fight scenes and these action scenes that are pure CGI. Like she'll jump up on a counter and then she'll jump up and then it's a CGI image jumping around the room and then jumping down. And none of it is interesting, none of it's exciting, none of it's worth filming.
Mm-hmm.
And it just goes on and on and on. And they're so proud of it. They're so proud of these CGI things that they go on forever. They're like, oh, it's really cool. I'm gonna make this even longer. Isn't it great? But it's not. It's just awful. Everything about it's awful.
It's the gas leak.
It's the gas leak.
I wanted to say just like the datedness of the movie. So this came out in 2004. The Dark Knight came out in 2008. And Iron Man. It feels like there's not 4 years passed, but 20.
I think this is the dying nail in the coffin of the cheesy superhero films.
Yeah. This was also around the time where superhero films were embarrassed to be superhero films.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons they haven't read any Catwoman or they didn't incorporate any Catwoman stuff in it. Because they're just like, well, whatever, we're just going to use the IP that's recognizable and then we're going to just do our own thing because comics are embarrassing. It was around that time, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to talk about the handwriting examination scene,
Yeah.
which is one of my favorite scenes,
Is it?
in a bad way.
Yeah.
Because, so, as you said, Catwoman leaves a clue for hot cop.
Yeah. You said hot cop.
I'm just using your terminology. I don't endorse the use of hot cop.
Daniel Prim does not endorse the uses of hot cop in the description of this character at any point in the film.
Yeah, he looks like fucking NCIS cop, which is just boring old cop. He is not hot. Come on, get with me, girls.
Oh gosh.
I just did the Catwoman.
You did a
2004.
Catwoman, yeah. I didn't know you wrote Catwoman.
Yeah. I was just thinking, what do girls like? And, it just came out of me. I just channeled them. Catwoman leaves a clue for a hot cop, which is like she wrote sorry on a cup earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And then she writes sorry on like a lunch bag later.
Full of jewels.
Full of jewels. And cop thinks that there might be correlation, so he takes it to analysis. And what do you think is like a handwriting analysis entails on like, the way this person...
The O is perfectly round, so therefore they're a rounded individual.
Yeah, that's the problem, that it was like that, but
Yeah.
what I mean is like, it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be fucking astrology.
Well, there is a field of study that assesses people's handwriting and says, but as far as I know, it's complete bullshit.
It sounds bullshit.
It's complete bullshit.
You might as well said like, Mars is in retrograde, so I don't think you have the same person. It doesn't belong in the forensics lab.
Nope.
And yeah, he was just saying like completely subjective things.
Mm-hmm. And what was really weird about it is it was the same handwriting.
Yeah, it was completely
They
the
literally
same.
put it over each other, and it was the same handwriting, but like the Y was slightly different, and that obviously meant that her personality is completely changed.
Completely different. So the guy even says that these two people would not get along.
Yeah.
I want to see a TV show with this guy.
I want to see a TV show, but he's wrong all the time.
Well, that's the real show. But like, yeah, I feel like he should have a TV show because this is like an unexplored science, and he like applies his unexplored science to crime. I want to see him explain how the O makes this person a really bubbly person. And then the real cops were like, "Come on, Jimanta, you are not a real cop." And then he gets proved right at the end.
Although I did learn something in this film. So, Hot Cop starts to suspect Patience Phillips.
Say the full name, full Christian name.
He starts to suspect Patience Phillips of being Catwoman because of the sorry, even though he went to the lab and the guy in the lab said absolutely not. So he steals
because he has common sense and he sees it's the same as handwriting because everyone sees that.
So he steals a glass from her apartment because he just slept with her, and then they assess the lip mark on the glass to the lip mark on his face, and you laugh like that's bullshit, but that's accurate.
I didn't laugh because it was bullshit. I laughed because on the image of the hot cop's face, the lip was like as big as his whole cheek.
It's like someone just put lipstick on a banana and pressed it to his face.
It was like that, and that's why I laughed. I was like, "What? How big is her lips?" Jesus Christ.
But no, you can. There's a lip print is like the fingerprint. It's unique to each person.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I was just laughing how big it was, how comical it was.
I don't want to talk about this film too much more. I'll be honest with you, unless you've got too much more to say. I just want to go through two of the most atrocious scenes in cinema.
I kind of want to talk about Bad Lady.
Yeah, okay.
And again, did she have a name?
She did have a name, but
Creamy McCreamington.
ew.
Well, everyone has names like that in this one. Cynthia McCream.
Yes, okay. It goes Cynthia McCream.
Cynthia McCream, who's for some reason, she was very passive this whole time. And then all of a sudden, she frames Catwoman for the husband's murder.
Yeah.
And she was like, I will, distribute this cream and I will. But like, the thing that you got from her is that she just wanted the cream for herself. So why does she care about distributing it? I mean, she cares about the money, but she never says so.
Nope.
So it's just like a complete, like, it's a Game of Thrones we only see the result of. It's like a backstab that we don't even have no privy to at all.
And it doesn't make sense why she would be running the company, because she was the model for the company who married the CEO.
Yeah.
And then the CEO died. So
Before that, she says, "Oh, I'm gonna step away."
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she's the ex-model for the company. Why does she take the business?
Because she's Cynthia McCream.
Exactly. It makes no sense.
Evil bitch.
And then, yeah, she frames Catwoman for murder
Yeah.
because,
Shrug.
yeah.
But it's just the whole thing. And what a lame evil character. A lady who wants to sell cream.
So one of my two scenes that I was going to talk about,
Yeah.
this is the most atrocious in all cinema, and I will forever quote this, that this is the reason this is the worst film ever made. It's because of the bad guy, or the
Yeah.
bad woman.
Yeah.
The bad woman in this film, in your feminist, icon making film attempt, it's a lady who puts on so much face cream that her skin becomes impenetrable and she can't feel pain.
Yeah. And she's stronger as well, somehow.
Yes, makeup is her superpower, and that is just insulting to everyone in the entire world.
I don't know if makeup's a superpower. It's wellness cream. It's a superpower. It's lame.
Yeah.
It's lame. It's stupid. Again, this is where I feel like we can go back to a previous conversation, is like about adapting stuff. You had 70 years of Catwoman, Rogues Gallery, and Batman's Rogues Gallery. He's whatever. He's full of Gotham's the whole thing. And then you use Cynthia McCream. Like, in this way, I endorse the use it approach, because this is what they came up with. Is super lame and boring and stupid and insulting.
They have this horrendous CGI fight. Again, Catwoman jumps across all the beams in the ceiling, and Cynthia McCream gets beaten, but she doesn't feel it, so it's okay. She's got superpowers. She punches Catwoman to the ground, and then there's this big glass window that's in the office for some reason. She smashes through it, hangs from the bars, because Catwoman kicks her, and then she falls to her death. By the way, that's hilarious, because they clearly just threw a dummy out of a window.
Oh my god. That dummy was such a dummy.
And then she dies, and then the policeman comes up, runs through, because he's just too late to save the day. And she's like, I didn't kill her. Yes, you did.
No, she says worse.
Go on.
She says something like, I'm not a killer. After she kicked her out of the window.
She's hanging on. Catwoman kicks her out the window. She's hanging on. She sees herself in the mirror, and oh no, I'm an ugly woman now, so I might as well die.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I mean, makes sense to me. In this film.
Well,
Yeah.
in the context of this
In
film,
this context of this film,
it makes sense. You saved that well.
Catwoman also goes home and sees one grey hair, and she kills
Shoots
herself.
herself in the head.
I want Cynthia McCream to return in new Batman films. Robert Pattinson versus Cynthia McCream. The battle of the ages.
And let's finally talk about the most atrocious scene in cinema ever. Catwoman in jail.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the worst scene ever made and put to film.
Okay.
Catwoman's in jail. Halle Berry's sitting there. and she sees a cat come through the bars. Sorry, she sees a cat gets pushed through the bars.
No animals were harmed during the production of this film.
And she goes, "Oh, I'm a cat woman."
That's pretty much what she says.
I can do that too.
She looks at one hand, cat. Another hand, woman. And she finally figures out she's Catwoman.
So she walks up to these bars that are weirdly spaced widely apart anyway.
Yeah.
So she walks up to these bars and she puts her head against the bars and she squeezes through one and then she squeezes through. And then there's this awkward cut where the bar's perfectly separating her boobs.
Yeah.
And then she squeezes her other boob out the bar and she's out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
No reason. There's no reason for that at all. Because cats, if you look at their skeleton, they're a lot smaller than they look. The reason they look so bulky is fur. So they can fit through much smaller spaces than you think because they are much smaller than you think. Human beings are not.
You forgot a crucial thing in that scene, which is it's not enough that the cat comes through the bars and that gives her an idea. She also has to have like voiceover narration in her head of Ophelia Powers saying, "You are Catwoman and you can do anything, even squeezing through bars of metal." She pretty much says that. It's like it's not a metaphor at that point.
For me, these two things, that's what makes Catwoman the worst film ever made. And I don't think there's anything in Jack and Jill that's so badly written.
Because it's not written.
Even that, if you can have fart jokes for days, but at least you've, attempted something, and at least you've got some kind of like precedent of like people find fart jokes funny, right? Because some people do. When you have a film so insulting like Catwoman, like you have not done any research whatsoever into an audience for that film. Mm-hmm. You have just put out a smiling turd and hope that nobody notices.
Smiling turd with a wig.
And hope that everybody is too stupid to notice that you're insulting them. So, yes, Catwoman, worst film ever made.
Nah.
No?
Nah. I think I laid down my arguments.
Jack and Jill makes me bored.
Mm.
Catwoman makes me angry. Ratings out of 10?
1.
-1.
1. Some effort in this movie.
Okay.
Very misplaced effort. Again, zoom in from the space, zooming from Mars into one building as CGI. Terrible idea. You shouldn't do that, but they did it, and someone had the ambition to do that. And like a couple of nice shots. I don't think Halle Berry is bad in this. She just had terrible direction. It looks like she just did whatever they wanted, which is what she's supposed to do. Mm-hmm. So I don't blame her. No, honestly.
That was I Hate Your Movie's 100th episode.
Woo!
Whoop, whoop. We're actually going to be taking a short break.
Yeah, for our mental health.
For our mental health. We'll be taking a month and a half off to concentrate on the board game that we're releasing.
Yeah.
It's not to do with this podcast. It is not I Hate Your Movie, the game, which I have been trying to develop, but it's not working very well. But it is called Singularity Hex. It will be available on GameFound.
Yes. Coming in 30th of June.
30th of June?
Yes. Go to singularityhex.co.uk. Link is in the description, and you can sign up early and get a free expansion.
Awesome. Will we be back in August for season 2 of I Hate Your Movie?
Whoa. And what crazy innovations gonna happen?
Who knows?
Well, we're gonna do your episodes of first of the month, and mine is gonna be middle of the month.
Ooh.
Can't wait for such crazy innovations such as that in season 2.
In the meantime, we will continue to be releasing some of the bonus episodes.
Yeah.
So you won't be without us for that time.
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, patreon.com/I Hate Your Movie as well. If you wanted to listen to all of the back catalogs, if you really can't do without us for that amount of time.
I can understand.
Absolutely. And we'll see you in season 2.
Woo.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah. Question for you.
Yeah.
Again, it's like practical manly man questions.
Yeah.
Rick.
There is no one more manly than me.
Not in this room. Maybe the dog.
Maybe the dog, yeah.
Maybe my female dog is more manly.
Than us put
Yeah.
together.
Why did the female jet driver What's the
Pilot.
pilot? Why did
Immediately proving our point.
he does monologue and I think he's amazing. I told you I got chicken boobs. What's it called? Chicken pox.
Chicken boobs.
Chicken boobs.
If it's not called chicken boobs, it should be.
What's it called?
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps. Chicken goose. Almost. I got goosebumps. I got scared.
Chicken boobs.
I got chicken boobs. If you're a nail, everything looks like a hammer. I go to Washington. That's a hip and skip and skop away.
Well said.
Skip and skop away. Well, hello.
Ba la 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 la.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I've got a present. I've got present. I've got.
This was a bad idea.
I've got a present.
Present.
This is great.
You're gonna
stuff.
present your present.
I'm gonna present my present.
Yeah.
I've got a present. I've got a present.
Fuck
Why is that
me.
so hard to say?
It's not.
I've got a gift for our audience.
Yeah.
I'm more like a few notches below his average.
Octaves.
Few octaves. Few octaves
Well
below.
said.
She was prosecuting this case about a car turbulator
Oh, the catalytic converter.
that doesn't perfectly. That doesn't perfectly. What am I saying? Perfectly.
Ooh, now who can't speak English?
How do you say?
Now who can't say physicist?
Perfect. But yeah, it was like a shark sneaking up on a scuba diver, and then the scuba diver just
Scuba driver.
scuba diver just grabbed the shark and he flipped it upside down. It was just like you've never seen an animal more confused than when that happened. It's just like what happened? And just completely disoriented it, and then didn't know what to do with itself after that. It's really funny. But yeah. Sharks are not really scary.
No.
There's more hippo deaths than shark deaths.
Yeah.
I even heard like some scuba diver. I even heard from some.
Put it in the Dan mix.
I mean, I even heard from some scuba divers. I'm more thinking of smaller things like when you go close and it just goes. What's that called?
The fuck?
It's like tiny hooks, microscopic hooks. It's like a You can open
Velcro.
it. Velcro. It's like a
It's like clothes with microscopic hooks.
Yeah, it's
Hasn't got
it's tiny hooks. That's
It
how.
is tiny hooks, but it's not microscopic.
Whatever. I can't see it, so it's.
Of course you can see them.
I never looked at it.
It's the hard bit of the Velcro.
Oh, what are you doing here? What is the displeasure of meeting you? That's not a word. What an unpleasure of meeting you. So David Arquette comes to town and he buries some money that he collected from the dead people that he deaded. I don't know if Shatner is really hanging on.
Yeah, he's still going today.
He is the shining star of all fat people who look, a fat person can live to 90. Look at him. He's the one who made it. You can see his girder.
It's girdle.
Yeah, girder.
No, it's not a girder. A girder is a steel beam.
Maybe it's a steel beam around him.
It's just two steel beams holding it in.
And then they do body surfing out of the building.
What the hell's body surfing?
It's when you're a musician and then you jump into the crowd.
Oh,
they carry you.
like crowd surfing.
Was it crowd surfing?
Yeah.
Another one for the Dan English.
They could be body surfing. They could just use the dead Klingon assassin and just ride him out of the...
Hold him by his hair. Adam Sandler slowly flushed himself down the toilet of quality even more over the years and created this atrocity called Jack and Jill.
Atrocity.
Atrocity?
Yeah.
Yeah. He created this atrocity.
Well, I mean, it could be astrocity. It's a new...
Astrocity.
It's a new atrocity done by Adam Sandler, so it's an astrocity.
There you go. It's so bad it needs a new word.